Hi everybody, I'm making a bit of a different video today because I wanted to talk about equipment and guitar tone because a couple of people have asked me what I use in my current setup, and so I'm going to tell you about that today. So for anybody new to this channel, hi, my name is Lucy Gowen. I'm an 18-year-old guitarist here in London. I've been playing live for about 12 years, and in that time I've had this YouTube channel where I've been making YouTube covers with people around the world, which is really, really cool. So I have a little bit of a confession to make, which is in all that time I've never really gotten into the tech side of guitar tone and equipment. Obviously I know a lot of things because I use these things every day, but I just never really got into how things work, the different types of valves and amps and pedals as much as I could have. So I've been doing that more recently, and this piece of equipment that I've got is really, really cool, and I can tell you all about that even if you don't know as much about the tech side of guitars. So a few weeks ago I was lucky enough to be invited to the Blackstar headquarters, and while I was there I bought a Blackstar Amped 2, which is what I'm going to talk to you about today. It's the second of 3 products that Blackstar have in their range at the moment. Just now as I'm recording this, the Amped 3 has just come out. I won't go into any huge detail about it in this video, but what I would say about it as somebody who's played both models, that the Amped 3 is not an upgrade of the Amped 2, rather each of the 3 models have different features to cater for different kinds of guitarists. Anyway, back to the Amped 2. It's essentially an amplifier on your pedal board with built-in effects. So let's think about what that really means. This can technically be the only pedal board you'll ever need, and even if you do need some additional pedals, you've got the option to power them from the Amped 2, and it's got an effects loop. So let me take you through some of the sections. So here you've got the choice of 3 different voicings, so think of that as 3 different basic amp sounds. The first one is the USA voicing, so this is a clean, mid-60s, think Fender tone, so it's very bright and clean. You can push it to a little bit of a gainier end, but it's mainly good for kind of mid-60s sound. The UK voicing is a low to mid-gain preamp, think Vox AC30. It's quite bright. Again, you can push it quite distorted, but it works. It's got quite a nice range to it, and you can kind of go from like kind of a mild crunch to something a little bit more heavily distorted. So the last preamp is the classic voicing, so it's a much higher gain contemporary rock sound. It's perfect for metal or any modern rock. So the section labelled response is referring to the valve response. I'll tell you a little bit about that if you don't know what that is. Traditional valve amps typically used one of a few popular types of valves, and they all had very distinctive sounds and characteristics. So what they've done here at Blackstar is that they've taken those valve responses and how it affects the guitar tone and applied it into these switches, so you can switch between 3 different valve responses. So as well as all of the bells and whistles that you already get on the Amped 2, Blackstar has also developed a piece of software called Architect. This actually allows you to change the modelling of the sounds coming out of the pedal as if you were using different physical guitar cabinets. And not only can you choose from these realistic sounding cab emulations, you can also simulate the effects of miking those cabinets with different types of mics and even place them in different positions on the cab. So I'm just going to play with this for a little bit, and I'm going to play as I go along, and you'll see on the screen what the settings are. And obviously I won't go through everything, I'll just do a couple because there are hundreds and hundreds of options here, but just to give you an idea of how the different elements affect the sound. If I had to critique this at all, I would say there's really only two things. The first being it's a little bit awkward to turn the tuner on, and the way you do that is by pressing the delay and reverb switches at the same time, and I think those with small feet like me might struggle doing that. I have to kind of twist my foot around a bit, and when you're navigating a stage, often I'm in big heels as well, so it becomes a little bit tricky. And the other thing I would say, which has actually been solved with the Amped 3, is that you can't save any presets. I find that I can get around this quite well because I kind of choreograph and plan beforehand what kind of sounds I want and when I want them, so I know what switches to switch, what buttons to press. So it's really okay, but I would say it would just be a bit more user-friendly if that was possible. But again, in the Amped 3, which is the newer model, you do have this feature. But when I was comparing the two models in person, I decided that for me, it was more important to have the effects built in and to be able to strip down the weight of my pedal board. So that's it. I think this is a great piece of kit. I would recommend it to any guitarist because it's compact, I think it sounds great, and it's reliable for gigging and recording. Thanks for watching. If you'd like more content like this, please let me know in the comments and subscribe to see more of my videos soon.